Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be doing something I've never done before on my channel. I'm going to be doing a review, and this is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. Now, I've done a lot of research, I've read a lot of comments and feedback from different people, and hey, I'm here and I'm going to give you guys my 2 cents. So sit back, buckle up, and let's have this conversation right now. Now, Black is King. That seems to be the topic everyone is talking about, and I decided to give my 2 cents on it. So, a couple of weeks ago, the Queen herself, and I'm talking about none other but Beyoncé, released Black is King. It shook the entire internet, it shook everywhere, literally, because it was a stunning piece of work. Nothing I've ever seen before like that. It's amazing. Like, I cannot even begin to fathom it. Now, before we get into the proper review of the movie she released, I figured I should, clear the air on something that seems to have been a bother or a major concern amongst a lot of people, particularly Africans. Now, a lot of people were saying, hey, she's appropriating the African culture for her gain. It struck me. First of all, how do you appropriate something that you are part of? Last I checked, she's African American. This is her history. This is her story. She said that in Black Parade, for crying out loud. So how do you appropriate something you're part of? Come on, that doesn't make any sense. She is African American. Her roots, her history, her ancestry, all of it draws from Africa. How can she be appropriating that? We need to know the difference between appreciation and appropriation, because if you ask me correctly, that was exactly what she was doing. And by doing, I mean appreciation. She shone light on the African culture on a magnitude that, in my opinion, has not been done before. She used her celebrity, her power, her influence to draw light on issues that typically are not shown in mainstream media. Now, people have this perception about Africa. First of all, they think Africa is a country. Crazy. Then, those who even know it's a continent feel it's some jungle that's full of chimpanzees and giraffes and lions. And yeah, I know we have beautiful wildlife, and of course we are very proud of that. But Africa is way more than that. Africa is where it all started. The richest man in the world in the very first instance was African. When you talk about people like Musa and all of those kind of people, they came from Africa. The wealth from Africa. Africa had always been known to be glamorous, wealthy, rich, in culture, in people, in a lot of variances. It has always been Africa. Africa. So the mainstream media, for the most part, want to make us see Africa like this place that is stricken with poverty. I want to see Africa like this place with people who cannot survive, or people who survive with less than $1 a day. They see Africans as people who probably cannot use cell phones or who have no internet or no technology. Typically, that's the story people know. But here we have somebody who put together a piece of work that shows Africa in its most regal form, that shows Africa in its most celebrated form, that shows Africans as kings and queens and people of prestige and people of wealth. And you have a problem with that? What would you rather talk about? Or what would you rather have Africa being represented as? Think about it for a moment. So for all of you out there who are hating and criticizing, I have one word for you. Be quiet. Okay, I'm sorry, that's 2 words. Be quiet already, okay? Appreciate what somebody is doing. And she's not doing this for the money that would come from it. Okay? FYI, she funded the entire project herself. Spent over a year or about a year working on all of this stuff, putting it together to show light and shine light on Africa. And all you can say is appropriation of our culture? I mean, if that is what appropriation is, then by all means, it made me proud. It made me happy. It made me interested. It made me carry my head high. I saw reviews. I saw a video on Twitter about a little girl who was literally watching the movie and crying. She was crying because she was in awe of how beautiful this thing was. She was in awe of how everything was being put together. I mean, let's talk about the cinematography. Let's talk about the costumes. Let's talk about the hair. Let's talk about the choreography. Let's talk about the makeup. Let's talk about the connotations that were drawn from, different symbolisms and all of that stuff. Where else can you find that? And then guess what? Of all places that she could premiere this stuff or debut the movie, she decided to do it on Disney Plus. Amazing. Every young black child out there, every young black girl, every young black boy would be able to look at this movie and see themselves. Look at this movie and see what they can be. Look at this movie and know that, okay, the future, the world is mine for the taking. And that is exactly what she was able to achieve. So at the end of the day, I know haters are always going to hate, but at the end of the day, the right thing was done, which was the release of that movie. So you could say whatever it is you want to say. You could appreciate her for it. You could slam her for it. You could slander her for it. But at the end of the day, she did what she had to do. All right, so now I'm just going to say a little bit about Blackisking. So Blackisking is a musical movie done by Beyoncé, Jizzle Knowles Carter. Okay, she did that, and basically it's a derivation from the 2019 album which she released in July 2019, which was supposed to be an accompaniment, sort of like an extra soundtrack, so to speak, for the movie The Lion King. Of course, she worked on the main soundtrack of the movie, where she recreated some of the songs like "Can You Feel Love Tonight," and all of that stuff. And it was beautiful, with Childish Gambino and all of the rest of them, Elton John. It was really, really beautiful, really, really beautiful. So she now did The Lion King, The Gift album, and guess what? She featured mostly African artists, and I was proud seeing my people there, from Yemi Alade to Tiwa Savage to Wizkid to Burna Boy to Techno, Mr. Easy. It was amazing, Shatta Wale, my man, from Ghana. It was amazing, the array of talents she got on that album, and at the end of the day, it was Grammy nominated, which is a big deal. Super, super big deal, so I was proud for her to be able to do that. And now 1 year later, even though we had heard certain rumors like, okay, there was going to be a shoot, or there was a shoot for Already is the song she did with Shatta Wale, we weren't typically sure. You know how she behaves with all her non-disclosure deals and all of that stuff. I wonder how she gets to pull it off, People literally stayed for 12 months and couldn't say nothing about having worked with her. How difficult could that have been? I cannot even imagine for a second how difficult that would have been, So she had traveled around the world, from Nigeria to Ghana to London, to Belgium, different places, trying to shoot and draw true inspiration, and scratch the inner fabrics of what the African culture was about. And she depicted it in its entirety through Blackisking, the movie. And it was amazing. I watched it, and I mean, round of applause to her. This was not just on Disney Plus, but even in Africa. I'm in Nigeria, for instance, and we were able to watch it here on the 1st of August, and it was a sight to behold. Everything was beautiful. Everything was glamorous. Everything, the colors, gosh. I mean, I'm even under pressure for her, because I'm like, how do you even top that? She did it first with the Beyoncé album, then Lemonade came and it topped that. Then she did Coachella and then released the live album for Coachella. And I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden, Blackisking comes out, and I'm like, oh my God. So now literally, I'm pressed for her. Like, I'm literally under pressure for her, because what is she going to release after this? Can it top Blackisking? I don't know. Well, we'll save that for another day. So, Black is King is a visual phenomenon. It's a visual work of art. Art in its truest nature and form. Art you could literally feel, touch, And she tells the story of a young prince who was, sent away from his heritage, his kingship, and his kingdom. So she tells the journey of his process of, leaving home and then finding his way back home to reclaim his throne and his crown. And it was done beautifully. She drew a lot of references to, kiddie stories. I mean, there were references to Rapunzel. There were, a lot of references there, and even the Prince of Egypt. There were a lot of references there. But at the end of the day, you could still tell what she was talking about. She executive produced it, she produced it, she directed it, and she also featured in it, and she also wrote it, and then she collaborated with a lot of, African writers, designers, designers that were known, designers that were unknown, and just showcased their work, showcased their talent. And I mean, it was just a great step for Africa, and I am so proud. So Beyonce played the role of some sort of like spirit guide, like some sort of ancestor who was guiding this young prince through his journey, back home. And then we could also talk about Fola Jomi, who played the young Nigerian boy who did an amazing job, who played the young prince. And then Ojo for me was like, he was like the breakout star of the film, because he was the blue man, and everybody kept wondering, who is this. It was eventually I found out that he was a Nigerian. He featured in Spirit. He was one of the dancers for the Spirit music video, and later he was called back, to feature in Blackisking, and he played a fundamental role of teaching Beyonce some certain, African dance moves. You know how it is now with Africans. We have the vibe, we've got the swag. So he was instrumental to doing that. So he taught her all of this, numerous moves and stuff. And then eventually his role kept expanding, and he, acted like he played the blue man, and the blue man I think represents the subconscious, subconscious of this African prince who was trying to find his way, back home. And then there were tons and tons of appearances, from her husband to Blue Ivy, the superstar, to her twins, Sar and Rumi, to her mother, to the amazing, gorgeous Kelly Rowland, to Naomi Campbell, to Lupita Nyong'o. It was just amazing. It was black excellence at its core, black excellence at its peak. It was a thrill to watch. While watching the movie, there are moments of shock. There are moments where you literally feel the hair on your skin rise. There are moments where you would drop a tear or two. There are moments where you would be so proud and so full of self and life. And then can we talk about the choreography for a minute? I watched already and I was shouting because I saw Nigerian steps, and they were busy rocking, and I was like, oh my god. I kept taking it back and taking it back so many times to see her do the zanku and all of that stuff. It was really a thrill to watch. And then when I saw water, oh my goodness, water was a work of art. It was so beautiful. So beautiful, with the stuff she had on her head. Every single thing had its significance. Every single thing had its connotation. So she paid homage to our history, time. Way back in time, of how African culture truly was. The beauty, and Pharrell, he did an amazing job there. And then when you talk about songs like Brown Skin Girl, oh gosh, it made me so happy. I mean, in my head, I'm like, when I have a daughter, she definitely has to rock to Brown Skin Girl, and know that she has that magic in her. She has that black girl magic in her, and No one, no situation, no circumstance would ever be able to take that away from her. That was a moment for the beautiful black girls who have felt like their skin color was limiting, who had felt like their skin color, had stopped them from achieving purpose. That video right there was a moment in time for them. And it also, away from all of that, it also showed how solid her sisterhood is with with Kelly Rowland. And then I kept wondering why Solange wasn't in that video, but anyway, I'm sure there's a reason. Maybe Solange was busy or something, but typically Solange would be there, but Solange wasn't there. But it was fine. It was beautiful. Their outfits were amazing. They all look like queens that they actually are, on royalty. And then Blue Ivy, of course, the star of the show. Basically people are like, she's running the show and she's just letting her mom Beyoncé become part of it. It really, really was, awesome to see. And then when I saw the song Other Side, oh my God, wow, what a moment. I've always loved the song. I've always loved her vocals on that song and how deep she took her voice. But then when I saw it in Blackisking, it felt and meant so much more. It really was a moment. It really was a true moment. It was a testament to that story and to the fact that, hey, this royal prince had missed his step, but you know what? They were gonna meet on the other side. It was really, really awesome. And then when I saw the a cappella version of Spirits, gosh, I was so thrilled. Like my heart skipped an extra beat. Like it was so beautiful, and that yellow outfit she had on, and then the background vocalist, the choir rather, with their beautiful outfits. It was just so amazing, just so amazing. Everything from start to finish was amazing. I literally was holding my breath through the entire movie. And then something very special she did, which I really, really appreciated as I, kept researching on this topic, was the fact that, she had learned that Beyonce had learned about the story of Solomon Linda. Solomon Linda is a South African composer of the song Mbube. The song received no credits, no royalties, no payment whatsoever, and the song was used as, in the original Lion King movie, the very first one that was released, The Lion Sleeps Tonight. It was used there and no credit whatsoever was given to the composer. So she heard about this and she didn't feel right about it. As a matter of fact, I hear she was angered by that news. So she now decided to use the song Mbube for Blackisking. It was the only original song from the very first, showcasing of The Lion King. Every other thing was songs that was put together by her, but she paid homage to Solomon Linda, and that song was used and credited rightfully on Blackisking, and then she had to go all the way back to Disney to premiere it. That was a full circle moment right there. So when I look at all these things that she's done, and then I think about the fact that people hate on it, people would still say utter trash about her concerning her work and the art she's created, it breaks my heart. I'm like, why? Why would you do that? Anyway, overall, I would give that movie an 11 over 10. An amazing job, extraordinary. Anything that adds to, boosting the confidence of young black men and women, I'm always going to be part of it because you are worth it. You are strong, you are beautiful, you are bold, you are black, and you are king. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Trust me, it'll change your perception. It'll make you happy. It'll make you proud of your heritage and who you are. Never forget that. It all started with you, and it's gonna end with you. So go see the movie if you haven't seen it. Recommend it for your young cousins, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews. They need to see this. They need to know that they are royalty. They need to know that Black is king. Thank you guys so much for watching.